aha moment where I want to become an entrepreneur based off of the parents that I had. In fact, I chose dermatology because my husband was doing general surgery and he was planning to do a super specialization as well. I'm being very honest here. And doctors, as we know, gynecologists don't have fixed hours. Pediatricians also don't. So I was like, okay, wait, which is the specialty that has maybe a bit of a fixed hours? So it's dermatology. You don't have emergencies. It's a 9 to 5, or you can actually pick your own hours if you like. Little did I know that the most theory or examination prep would be in dermatology. It's like the largest subject to study. But having said that, the idea came more from, I think my father came to me and had a conversation, and the entrepreneurial spirit actually came up when I wanted to start a clinic. I didn't want to join the family business. And I had met two friends and two colleagues of mine at the hospital, and both the three of us said, okay, let's go into business together. And at that time, this is way before the Oliva clinics and the 2 clinics on every street type of phenomenon that you have right now. Way before that, and we would have been probably doing really well by now if we had started that clinic. But I brought up the subject to my dad and I said, I want to start this, and then maybe he got a bit scared. He's like, wait a minute, she's going away. And then he did what all classic Indian parents do. He rubbed in the guilt. He says, I'm getting old, I need a little bit of support, I need some help. And I mean, any child, it speaks to you, because you see the struggle. I was a first-hand witness to it all. Moving back from the US to India, they sold their house, they sold their car. That was the seed money that they used to invest into the business. They didn't have many angel investors. There was no grandfather's inheritance or land to sell. It was all their hard work that they sold, brought it back to India and set up their business. So I think this is the least I can do to maybe contribute and give back. And if he's saying he needs my help, okay, let me try to step in. So then the role I was given was this. But ma'am, may I ask you a question? You have stepped into a business where it's your the in-laws. The in-laws' family. I mean, or who you married into. It was their business. And you brought up the subject of, this gender, women not maybe being included in the conversations. And forget a daughter-in-law being included in the conversation. So I can't even imagine how it must have been for you when you were recently married. And how did that happen? How did that conversation happen wherein you were maybe invited to?
So my journey is like I've been for the last 16, 17 years in my in-laws business. So I didn't have the guts those days to go and ask my in-laws for a job. So what I did was then to go and ask my grandfather, where I felt that I might have some sort of a chance. So that's how, and I think, in hindsight, my husband said, it's good that you actually went and worked with your grandfather and later with your brother, because they pressed you to come and work for me here. So I guess things worked out. But then you see the underlying fact there was that I wanted to get out of the house. I didn't want to be a home worker because unlike you, those conversations were not reserved for us. We were always spoken to saying that you have to be a good homemaker, you have to be a good wife to your husband, you have to be a good cook, a good mom. So that was the narrative that was there happening when we were growing up. And when I was doing my thesis and interviewing a lot of women who came from conservative families went through these challenges. Whereas maybe a little younger generation, maybe generation of your size, would have had maybe a father who has said, okay, let's bring the daughter in. Maybe a grandfather who felt that I think we are quite progressive enough to get a granddaughter in too. So what I also would like to understand is why family members are encouraging and supportive, and in cases like mine when they are a little indulgent and say, okay, because she's asked, let us bring her in. Once you enter the company, the business, does the shadow of being a family member with the non-family employees, how do you address those challenges, and if you have had any such concerns or instances where non-family employees did take you seriously, saying that no, you're the founder's daughter, founder's whatever, family member, and I went through that because in my first business I was chairman's granddaughter, in my second business I was chairman's sister, and of course when I joined my in-laws side, it was the chairman's wife. So initially there was always that she's just a family member, not to be taken seriously, not to be reckoned with. And no decision ever came to me those days. Of course now the story is different. So what was it for you?
To answer you very simply, did I experience that? I would have to say yes. And I don't want to be, be a great cloud here and say times have changed, people are going to welcome you with their open arms. No, it's not going to happen. See, when we're talking about, there are big terminologies being used in gender equality, and you're talking about feminism. At the end of the day, you want to be recognized for your own merit, not for the name that you hold, or not by the gender that you are, or not by the institution that you came from, like a fancy Ivy League or a fancy institution of our country. You would rather be held, accountable and held to a good level based off of your accomplishments and your merits. I think that's what all women want. That's what everybody, every human being wants that. Now, is that going to happen immediately as a fresher? No, it's not going to happen. In a new organization, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in a legacy organization like me also walking in as the daughter of, So trust me when I say it's equal footing for us as well. But let me say, I do understand that I do stand on maybe a lot of privilege. But with that privilege and a stage that I'm standing on, probably this one as well, it does come with a lot of expectations, it does come with a lot of responsibilities, it does come with a lot of, hey, what is this person going to do? Can they even match up to the people who have come before her? And imagine, you've got these people just thinking negative things about you before you even had a chance to perform. And sometimes I used to think, I just wish I was a nobody, I wish I was a stranger, I could just walk and get a job somewhere else. Many times I thought, okay, I'll just be a doctor, find a job somewhere, I'll be nobody, I can just work. I was a decent doctor too. I could have just done a business there too. But that's not what resilience is, You need to put your head down and change those minds. And in order to change those minds, it has to start with you. You can't just so that they should not have preconceived notions about you. You also can't have preconceived notions about what you can and what you can't do in a workplace. So it is very important to come with a very open mindset. So the mindset I came with was, many of the people that we have in our business have been there for 20 years, 25 years in the company. Many of them are still around. Many legacy businesses have these great mentors. Shadow them, work under them, listen to them. Don't speak, listen to the conversations. Sometimes just the way they interact with clients or interact with business connections is a learning in itself. No B school can teach you that. Negotiations is not something that can be learned in a textbook. It's something that you learn over a table. You learn over a cup of coffee. Oh, you don't like coffee? I'll get you something else. Reading a person's mind, reading their body language. All that comes with practice. And you learn that with your mentors ahead of you. You shadow them, you listen to them. And once they start knowing that you're open to that kind of guidance, they become very welcoming after that. Yeah, I did experience a few experiences, very mild, not too bad. Yeah, a flippant comment saying, yeah, I just spoke to your dad. And I'm like, do you mean chairman? So, and then we would pivot back to the conversation at hand. But it happens sometimes, it's okay. Just take it off, brush it off your shoulder and walk on and move on. That's all.
So what I'm hearing